Chosen one, this message was never meant for the many. It was prepared for you. And if these words found their way into your life, then you already know. Something is shifting. You feel it, don't you? That quiet but undeniable pull in your spirit. The sense that something is about to appear. Something big, something long awaited, something rightfully yours. The truth is simple. You are about to receive a huge, unexpected payment, not because of chance, not because of luck, but because you stayed aligned even when everything tried to pull you apart. You've been faithful, you've been patient, you've waited, hoped, prayed, and still carried on. And now the time has come. But before we speak of what's coming, let us honor what you've survived, because this blessing is not arriving into a life that's been easy. It's coming to a soul that's been forged in fire. How many nights did you stay up wondering how you'd make it? How many times did you give when you had almost nothing? How many moments did you say, just one more day, while everything inside of you wanted to give up? Yet here you are, still breathing, still believing, still open. And that, chosen one, is why this payment is for you. Because this is not just about money. This is about energy. This is about alignment. This is about the divine law that says, to those who endure, a reward shall be released. And what's coming is more than you imagined. Somewhere, right now, a conversation is being had, a decision is being made, a document is being signed, an account is being activated, and its ripple will reach you. It may come through a source you forgot. It may arrive through a person you never met. It may be triggered by an event you didn't see coming, but it will come because it has already begun. This isn't prediction, it's confirmation. You've been sensing this. The repeated numbers, the sudden dreams, the inner whisper that says something is coming. No, you're not imagining things. You're perceiving what others miss. Because while others live in chaos, you have chosen to stay in expectation. And expectation is a powerful force. It opens doors. It moves energy. It prepares the heart to receive. What logic cannot explain. Still, doubt may try to creep in. You may hear that old voice say, "It's too late. It's not for me. It never works out." But that voice, it's not your truth. It's your past. And the past has no permission to block what is coming unless you let it. So what should you do now? Simple. Stay open. Stay available. Stay ready. The moment you drop the weight of how and fully step into yes, you enter the frequency where miracles unfold with ease. Because the universe is not responding to your effort. It's responding to your alignment. And you, chosen one, are aligned. You've already done the hardest part. You've stayed. You stayed when the doors were closed. You stayed when it made no sense. You stayed when the world told you to walk away. And now, life is about to walk toward you. This unexpected payment is not a reward for perfection. It's the natural result of perseverance. It's the divine acknowledgement that says, I saw every time you kept believing, even with tears in your eyes. I counted every time you helped someone else while your own needs went unmet. I watched as you gave without expectation, and now it is your turn to receive. Feel that? That warmth rising in your chest? That spark in your hands? That's not imagination, that's confirmation. Your spirit recognizes what your mind is only beginning to comprehend. Something is on its way, and it carries your name. So let's say it aloud. I am ready to receive my unexpected payment. Not with doubt, not with desperation, but with certainty, because this is not just a possibility, it's a spiritual transaction already in motion, and it cannot be stopped. In the days ahead, watch for the signs. Small shifts, sudden nudges, moments that feel off, but in a good way, doors that creak open just enough for light to spill through. These are the whispers of what's unfolding, and they are asking you to pay attention. Don't rush the process. Just remain in posture. The energy of this payment is already moving, and when it arrives, it will not just solve a problem, it will shift your path. If this message found you, it's not by chance. This was timed, this was sent, this was meant. You are not reading this to hope, you are reading this to prepare. Write it below. I'm ready, I receive, I allow. Let it be your signal, let it be. Your agreement, let it be your spiritual signature. The release has begun. The frequency of receiving deepens. You'll learn how to hold the energy of wealth and protect it from the fear that once blocked it. Get ready, because once it begins, it doesn't stop. And yet, chosen one, there's more. Because when a divine moment locates you, it doesn't stop at knocking. It waits for your yes, and that yes doesn't always come in the form of words. Sometimes it arrives in the stillness of your heart. In the softening of your defenses, in the decision to stop resisting what your soul has always recognized. This is not about chasing, this is about recognizing. The truth is, your spirit recognized this moment before your mind did. It knew, it remembered, it leaned in even when the rest of you hesitated, and now all of you is being invited to align. Have you ever felt like something greater has been quietly preparing you for this exact moment, not by chance, not by accident, but because your spirit was always meant to remember? If this message ignited something inside you, don't scroll away. Subscribe to this channel and step fully into the alignment that's been waiting for you. And in the comments, write, I'm ready, I receive, I allow. Let those words seal your agreement with what's already unfolding. This isn't just a message, it's a mirror. And if you see yourself in it, then it's time to stop waiting and start walking in what's yours. Because this moment is not fragile, it's firm. It's been built through layers of obedience, through prayers you forgot you whispered, through dreams that survived storms you never thought you'd walk through. This moment is layered in time. It carries the echo of your lineage, the whisper of generations before you who dreamed of a day like this. And you, chosen one, you are the fulfillment of that echo. You are the one who stood. You are the one who waited. You are the one who didn't let the fire consume you. Now the fire has shifted. It no longer burns to break you. It burns to birth you. It fuels the awakening that's been waiting, not just to touch you, but to transform you. So lean in now. Not with fear, but with sacred reverence. You are not stepping into the unknown, you are stepping into the unfolding. And what unfolds from this moment forward will not be random, it will not be rushed, it will not be forced, it will be revealed, layer by layer, instruction by instruction, breath by breath. Because divine timing doesn't demand, it invites, it calls. It remembers, and right now, it remembers you. It remembers your name. It remembers your faith. It remembers the way you kept hoping when everything around you said to give up. And now, your name is echoing in spaces you haven't even entered yet. So pause and feel this. I have not been forgotten. I am not late. I am exactly where I'm meant to be. Write it, breathe it, let it anchor you, because this is not just a moment, this is a marker. The moment the tide turned, the moment the veil lifted, the moment your life began to respond to who you truly are. And the beauty of this is, you don't need to figure it all out. You don't need to have the next 10 steps. You don't need to see the full staircase. You only need to stand in agreement with who you are, with what's rising in you, with the divine truth that says, this moment is mine. Chosen one, your yes has already begun to move things, behind the scenes, beyond your comprehension, beneath the surface. The moment has found you, because you finally stopped hiding from it. You opened, you allowed, you remembered. Now, Watch what remembers you, chosen one. There is something powerful happening within you right now. You can't fully explain it, but you feel it. A quiet pull, a sudden stillness, a knowing that something unseen is drawing closer, and you're right. Because the moment you opened your heart to what's coming, the energy around you began to shift. See, receiving isn't just about readiness, it's about resonance. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you're in harmony with. And right now, you are aligning with abundance in a way you've never done before. Not with desperation, not with fear, but with deep, sacred permission. Permission to believe, permission to let go, permission to receive what was always meant for you. You may not have realized this before, but abundance responds to your energy, not your effort, not your struggle, not your logic, only your alignment. Because money, yes, even money, is energy, and energy flows where it is welcomed. Let me ask you something. Have you truly been welcoming it, or have you, like so many, been trying to force it through fear? You've done the math, you've counted every bill, you've held onto coins with white knuckles, you've stayed up nights wondering if enough would come, and still it didn't flow. Why? Because you weren't in flow. But that ends now. The current is changing, the frequency is rising, and the dam that once blocked your blessing, it's cracking. Not because the money suddenly appeared, but because you finally aligned. You stopped chasing and started receiving. You stopped pleading and started allowing. You stopped fearing and started knowing. And that knowing, that's the key that unlocks the door. Think about it. How many times have things worked out for you at the very last moment? How many times has provision arrived when logic said it was too late? That wasn't coincidence. That wasn't luck. That was the same divine force that's now working in your favor once again. Only this time, it's bigger. The energy you're in now is different, richer, clearer, stronger. Because you've been through the fire, you've been tested, and you've kept your heart open even when it hurt. Now the universe is responding. You've stepped into a frequency where miracles are not delayed, they are activated. And yes, it may feel unfamiliar, because scarcity was familiar, struggle was familiar, almost enough was familiar. But now you are being called into overflow, into more than enough, into full release, and the nervousness you feel, that's your old identity crumbling. It's the echo of a version of you that lived in survival mode for too long, but you're not surviving anymore, you're receiving. Let this be your truth now. You don't have to apologize for wanting more. You don't have to shrink to feel worthy. You don't have to over-explain the blessing that's coming. This is not about deserving, this is about aligning. And you, chosen one, are in full alignment. There is a river flowing now. It carries answers, solutions, settlements, surprises, and above all, the unexpected payment that carries your name. And this river doesn't rush. It flows with purpose. It knows exactly where you are. It knows the path to your door. And no resistance, no delay, no interference can keep it from reaching you now. So what do? You stay open. You release doubt like expired air. You ground yourself in the truth that this is already unfolding. You don't ask how, you say yes. Because the moment you said yes in your spirit, the gates opened in the unseen realm. What's arriving now was never meant to pass you by. It was always yours, but only now are you fully aligned to receive it. If fear rises again, let this be your anchor. I am not here to chase. I am here to allow. Let that be your mantra. Let it become the beat beneath your breath. Because this blessing is not just financial, it is energetic. It is here to remind you of your power, your connection, your sacred place in a universe that does not forget the faithful. If you've been seeing the signs, the numbers, the dreams, the sudden clarity, this is your confirmation. You are not imagining it. You are magnetizing it. What's coming is real, so write this now. I welcome the flow. Let that be your signal, your doorway, your declaration. You are no longer just preparing, you are in motion. You'll witness what happens when divine timing meets full surrender. A shift in the invisible begins to manifest in the visible. Chosen one, you've turned the key. Now the door will open, and still you wonder. Why you? Why did the heaviness find you before the help? Why did your heart ache before it could ever open? Why were you marked but not immediately moved? Because chosen one, being marked does not mean being rushed. It means being watched, being measured, being refined. You see, what rests on you could not be placed on weak foundations. The weight of what you carry, spiritual, generational, prophetic, it had to meet a structure that would not collapse under pressure. So heaven waited, and so did you, but not in vain. Every delay was a strengthening. Every silence was a signal. Every season of obscurity was the sacred stretching of a soul being shaped to receive. You weren't overlooked. You were being outfitted for this exact moment, for this exact call, because the one who is chosen must also be willing, and willingness doesn't scream. It whispers. It says yes, Evan, when nothing around you makes sense. It says yes when the room is still empty and the voice is still quiet and the promise feels far. But you still said yes, not because you saw, but because you sensed. That sensing, that deep knowing within you, that was the mark awakening, the sign sealed within you before you even had language for it, before the betrayals, before the losses, before the doubt. Something in you always knew you were being preserved for something precise, not just to survive, not just to break curses, but to embody redemption, to become the place where divine reversal lives, where the family pattern stops, where the scarcity ends, where the silence becomes song. And now you feel it again, not the ache but the arrival. The part of you that once longed to be chosen has realized you always were. You just had to remember. You had to walk the desert so you'd never fear it again. You had to carry the weight so you could recognize its worth. You had to be hidden so your humility would hold your harvest. Chosen one, you are not late to your purpose. You are on time for your becoming, and the mark is not fading, it's flaring. It's being reactivated every time you choose obedience over opinion, stillness over striving, clarity over crowd-pleasing. You are not like the others, and you never were meant to be. This is why the path was narrow, because what walks with you is wide. It stretches through bloodlines, it shakes atmospheres, it rewrites outcomes, and that kind of calling cannot be approached casually. It had to find a heart that would not mishandle holy things, and it found you. So pause for a moment, let it land. You were not mistaken, you were not misled, you were not abandoned, you were being made ready, and now you're not waiting on the mark, you're walking in it, no longer asking, am I worthy of this calling? Now declaring, this calling is worthy of me, because the mark didn't come to crush you. It came to confirm you. You are sealed, you are seen, you are sent, and the world has no idea what just reawakened inside of you. Chosen one. There is a sound in the spirit, and it is the sound of a door opening. Not just any door, a divine one that had been sealed, held back, delayed until now. You may not have seen it, but you felt it. That sense of something's about to shift, and you were right, because that door has now begun to creak open, and what's waiting behind it is bigger than what you've asked for. This door doesn't just carry a payment. It carries a promise. It carries restoration for what you lost. It carries elevation beyond where you've been. It carries proof that what you felt all along was real. This is the moment your spirit has been rehearsing in silence, the one your heart has been aching toward in prayer, the one your faith refused to let go of, even when everything told you it was over. And now the universe has responded. That opportunity, that release, that breakthrough, it has been set in motion, not because you chased it, but because you aligned with it. Not because you demanded it, but because you prepared for it. Let's be honest, there were times you thought it wouldn't come. You tried to silence that small hope in you, the one that kept saying, maybe. You buried your faith under facts. You called your dreams unrealistic. You watched others rise while you stood still, but what you didn't see was the divine delay, the sacred timing, the unseen orchestration. What felt like waiting was actually weaving. Behind the scenes, doors were aligning. Resources were moving. People were being positioned, not to ignore you, but to prepare exactly what fits you, because this isn't just any door. It's your door, and now it's opening, gently, naturally, undeniably. And with it comes an energy you may not be used to. Peace. Not the kind that comes when everything looks right, but the kind that comes when everything feels right. A calm confidence, a deep exhale, a knowing that what's on its way is already yours. You don't have to push. You don't have to chase. You don't have to perform. You simply have to walk through it. And yes, your legs may shake, your mind may scream, your heart may race, but your spirit is ready because it remembers. It remembers the nights you stayed up weeping. It remembers the prayers you whispered through cracked lips. It remembers the days you smiled through disappointment. It remembers the preparation. It remembers the pain. And now, it's ready for the promise. So what happens now? Now you receive fully, completely, without guilt, without shame, without needing to explain. Because the blessing that's coming was never dependent on perfection. It was always about alignment, and you, chosen one, are aligned. That huge, unexpected payment we spoke of, it is not coming from man. It is coming from source. It is not tied to the system. It is tied to your surrender. It is not based on what you did last week. It is the harvest of what you planted in faith long ago, and harvest time has arrived. Let this truth land softly in your chest. I am not chasing a door. The door has opened for me. Breathe that in. Let it settle in your bones. Let it move you from survival to stability, from hoping to receiving. Because this is the shift you've been waiting for, and it starts now. But chosen one, hear this. When the door opens, not everyone will understand. Some will question your peace. Some will challenge your glow. Some will try to measure your blessing against their assumptions of your worth. Let them, because what's opening for you was never meant to be proven, only received. This moment is not about them. It's about you. You and the sacred door that only opens to alignment, not approval. So walk boldly, walk humbly, walk authentically, but above all, walk through. Because the longer you hesitate, the longer you give the past a seat in your present. And your past has had enough time. Now it's your future's turn to speak. And it's speaking through this moment, this message, this open door. If your heart is pounding, it's not fear, it's recognition. Your spirit knows this is the moment. So declare it now. The door has opened. I step into what's mine. Type it. Speak it. Claim it. Let the energy of that truth move like electricity through your being. Because the door is not the end. It's the beginning. What lies behind the door will unfold. The blessing becomes tangible, and your soul learns how to hold the weight of what once felt impossible. Chosen one, the door is open. Now walk through it. Chosen one. It's one thing to hope for something, it's another thing entirely to finally hold it. You've waited, you've believed, you've survived long nights with silent prayers and mornings filled with quiet courage. But now, the very thing you once only dreamed of is starting to become real. And here's the part no one tells you. Receiving can feel almost as overwhelming as waiting, because now the miracle has weight. It takes up space. It lives in your hands, no longer a possibility, but a presence. And your spirit whispers, "Can I really hold this? Am I allowed to enjoy it? Will it stay?" This is the moment where many turn back inward, not because they're ungrateful, but because they're unfamiliar with what peace feels like. They've known the ache of longing, but not the fullness of fulfillment, and you too might feel it. A subtle hesitation, an urge to make yourself smaller, a fear of the too good to be true. But hear this clearly. You're not here to shrink. You're here to receive. There is no punishment in this blessing, no test hidden in the breakthrough, no trick buried in the timing. This is not a trial. This is a transfer, a divine redistribution of what was always yours, but only now reaches you because you've grown strong enough to carry it. You didn't just ask for this. You were prepared for it, through every delay, through every detour, through every moment that felt like a dead end. You were being strengthened, stretched, refined. So now, when the blessing comes, you don't just receive it, you hold it with honor. You hold it knowing it cost you your comfort. You hold it knowing it challenged your patience. You hold it knowing that what seemed like silence from the heavens was actually strategy. Because what's in your hands now is not just provision, it's prophecy fulfilled. And that kind of fulfillment doesn't always feel easy, because you remember who you were when you first started praying. You remember the version of you that barely had enough to believe. You remember the tears, the almosts, the never quites. So this blessing, it touches something ancient in you. It awakens the part of you that never stopped hoping, even when you tried to give up. Let that part breathe now. Let it rise. Let it expand inside you. Let it whisper, "This is real, this is happening, and I am allowed to receive it all." You see, chosen one, you are not just someone who gets blessed. You are someone who holds it with integrity. You are not here to hoard it. You are here to host it, to nurture it, to let it live in your life without guilt or apology. This is not about flaunting, it's about flowing. So let it flow. Let it enter your conversations. Let it influence your decisions. Let it shift your posture from pleading to peace. You don't need to over-explain. You don't need to justify what's falling into place. Because what is being handed to you is not random, it's a response to your consistency, a response to your endurance, a response to the purity of your intentions. When no one was watching, you never had to prove yourself to people. You just had to stay aligned. And now that you've stayed the course is correcting itself in your favor. So don't downplay it. Don't shrink your smile, don't defer your joy. This is your moment. Let it be big, let it be bold, let it be seen. And if your mind still questions it, if that old inner voice whispers, "What if it's taken away?" What? If it's just temporary? Here's your answer. Even if it leaves, it came. And if it came once, it can come again. Because now I know how to hold it. That's the shift. You've moved from hoping to handling, from waiting to walking with it, from chasing to carrying. And this new version of you, you're not fragile. You're not fumbling, you're faithful. Faithful with what's been placed in your life. Faithful with the gift. Faithful with the responsibility. And the more you hold it with gratitude, the more will flow, because the universe doesn't reward fear. It rewards flow, and your spirit is flowing now, steady, clear, certain. So breathe this in now. I'm not afraid to hold what I once only hoped for. Let that truth settle deep, deeper than the worry, deeper than the doubt. Because this time, you're not losing it. You're living with it. Write this now to anchor the energy. I receive and I hold. I no longer hope, I embody. Let this be your spiritual signature, your confirmation, your contract. Because you're no longer just in waiting, you're in witnessing. You'll learn what it means to carry this blessing forward, to let it grow, to let it expand, and to walk in the fullness of the flow. Chosen one, what you once hoped for is now in your hands. Chosen one, now that the divine door has opened, now that you are no longer merely waiting, but holding in your hands what you once only hoped for. Now that the current of favor is no longer a concept, but a lived reality. There is only one thing left to do. Walk. Not in fear, not in confusion, not in apology, but in favor. Because this moment, sacred and appointed, isn't a final destination. It is a starting point, a launching place. Not the closing of a chapter, but the opening of one written long ago in the language of divine timing and soul alignment. A new energy surrounds you now. No longer the vibration of desperation, of pleading, of wondering, but the quiet, steady hum of alignment. It's the rhythm of clarity, the pulse of peace, the frequency of fulfillment. You're no longer trying to swim upstream. You're no longer gasping for breath in the chaos of uncertainty. You've stepped into the current of the sacred, and this current, it doesn't drag you. It carries you. This is not the kind of energy you have to force. This is not about performing or proving. It's about allowing. You're not chasing anything anymore. You're not begging for breakthrough. You're not strategizing your way into abundance. You've become the channel, the vessel, the match for the movement that's already flowing. And that flow, it's alive. It moves before you. It prepares spaces you haven't even entered. It aligns moments before you even become aware of them. And you may pause and ask yourself, was that real? Did that just happen? Was that for me? Yes, it was. It is. You don't need to second guess what's happening. You don't need to replay the moment to prove its legitimacy. This isn't a glitch in the system. It's the result of divine synchronization. Favor doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it's a soft breeze that clears the path. Sometimes it's a gentle yes when you were preparing for a no. Sometimes it's a conversation that shifts everything without you having to ask. And you, chosen one, are no longer surprised by goodness. You are aligned with it. You no longer flinch at kindness. You flow with it because you've trained your spirit to expect it, not with arrogance, but with anchored assurance. The path ahead is not perfect. It is aligned, and when you are aligned, you don't force open doors. They open themselves. You don't manipulate outcomes. They are drawn to you. You don't hustle in panic. You move in purpose. This is the difference. The overthinking, it's softened into knowing. The striving, it has melted into trust. You now listen deeply. You now sense clearly. You now respond from peace, not panic. This is what walking in favor feels like. And yes, it may feel unfamiliar at first, because for so long, you only knew how to struggle. You were fluent in resistance. You were intimate with almost. You were familiar with lack. But now you've entered the flow, and the flow is different. It doesn't push. It doesn't strain. It invites. It guides. It expands. Favor is not passive, chosen one. It's alive. It has movement. It has intelligence. It knows who you are, where you are, and what you're called to carry. And now that you've entered its frequency, everything is shifting. Obstacles no longer appear as mountains. You see through them. Delays no longer trigger panic. You understand divine timing. Doubt no longer rules your choices. You've been trained by faith. So now, when the path opens, you don't question it, you walk it. When favor meets you, you don't shrink, you expand. Because you've learned that favor is not something to be feared, it's something to be stewarded. And this is the season of stewardship. You're not just holding blessings, you're honoring them. You're not asking, why me, anymore. You're declaring, yes, me. You're standing tall in the confirmation of who you've always been, not someone hoping for a miracle, but someone walking in it. This favor isn't loud. It's not about showing off. It's not about flaunting your glow. It's about embodying what's always been true. That alignment produces overflow, and overflow changes everything. It heals timelines. It attracts solutions. It reorganizes your life around your readiness. Because you're ready now, not perfect, but prepared. Not flawless, but faithful. You agreed to this moment. You agreed to be available, to say yes, to trust again, to walk with an open heart and unclenched hands. And now the flow agrees with you. It doesn't resist you, it moves with you. So ask yourself, how would I walk if I knew everything was aligning behind the scenes? How would I move if I knew every step was already supported? How would I breathe if I believed the future was forming in my favor? Let those answers become your actions. Let your posture reflect your promise. Let your breath match your blessing. You don't have to chase what's already been released. You just have to walk with it, live with it, respond to it, because the time for doubt has expired. The season of hesitation has closed. You are not at the edge of a miracle. You are walking in the middle of it. This is favor, and favor walks differently. It glides, it trusts, it leads with calm. It listens more than it explains. It blesses without permission. And chosen one, you are not walking alone. Favor is walking with you. It's beside you, it's within you, it's around you, it's undeniable. This favor didn't come to test you, it came to carry you. So walk forward, not in haste, not in fear, but in flow. Write it now, say it aloud, let it land deep. I walk in the favor that found me. Let those words become the rhythm of your day, the anthem of your becoming, the compass for your next step. Because this is not the end, this is where the flow begins, and you were born to walk in it, chosen one. You've waited, you've prayed, you've received. You've learned how to walk in favor, but now something greater is being asked of you. You are no longer just the one who receives. You are becoming the source. The energy that once found you in lack now flows from you in abundance. The wisdom that was whispered to you now speaks through you. The healing that once reached out to touch your pain now radiates from your very presence. Because divine favor was never meant to stop with you. It was meant to begin with you. You were always the starting point, not the storage. You are the river, not the reservoir. And this is where everything changes. You realize your life was never just about what you could get. It was always about what you could give, from a place of fullness, not emptiness. You now understand why the waiting was long, why the path was narrow, why the door took so long to open. It wasn't to punish you, it was to prepare you for impact. Impact that comes not from shouting, but from shining, from embodying the energy you once envied in others, from becoming the example of what happens when someone truly surrenders to the divine flow. You are not just blessed, you are now the evidence that alignment creates access. You don't need to tell them what changed. They'll feel it. When they're in your presence, they'll know that something beyond logic is guiding you, because you're no longer striving to impress. You're simply aligned to express. And what you express now is powerful. It carries clarity. It carries healing. It carries permission for others to believe again. You've become the mirror in which others recognize their forgotten greatness, not because you preach, but because you embody. This is the final shift from receiver to reminder. You now remind the world of what it looks like to live in divine flow. Your story becomes the prophecy. Your transformation becomes the teaching. Your breakthrough becomes the blueprint. But with this level of energy comes new responsibility. You must protect what you carry, not with fear, but with discernment. You don't cast your pearls where they're not honored. You don't dim your light to make others comfortable. You don't leak energy trying to convince those who've chosen not to see, because this light you hold, it's not just yours. It's ancestral, it's prophetic, it's sacred, and it demands that you treat yourself as the vessel you are, that you walk with integrity, that you speak with purpose, that you move with intention. You're no longer reacting, you're responding, no longer proving, just present, because your presence is enough. And now, as you look back on all the years you thought were wasted, on all the nights you questioned if it was working, on all the tears you cried in silence, you see the full picture. None of it was for nothing. Every delay trained your patience. Every detour sharpened your clarity. Every heartbreak carved space for compassion. You weren't just being broken, you were being built, and now you've become A lighthouse, a pattern breaker, a carrier of the codes, not for applause, not for validation, but because you were chosen. So don't apologize for the magnitude of what's happening through you now. Don't play small to keep others comfortable. Don't dilute your essence to be digestible. You've earned this clarity. You've earned this alignment. You've earned this energy, but not through striving, through surrender. You are walking proof that what is meant for you'll always find you. Once you find yourself, and now that you've found yourself, you can't go back. You won't go back. You've come too far. The old version of you has expired, the one who doubted, the one who begged, the one who questioned their worth. They did their job. Now it's time for the version of you that knows how to move in silence, knows how to speak in power, knows how to rest in truth. You are no longer becoming, you have become. So write this now as your final seal. I am the source. I am the overflow. I am the answer I was waiting for. This is not just a declaration, it's an activation. It sends a signal into the unseen that you are ready to be used, to be poured through, to be multiplied. You are ready to let your very life become the miracle. This is where the journey ends and the legacy begins. You were never meant to just receive. You were meant to radiate, and now you do.